Continuing from the previous chapter, Xiao Yan encountered a powerful white wolf specter in the forest of corpses. The white wolf in the space initially appeared as a statue. However, after Mu Feng's intervention, the stone shattered away, revealing a lifelike but completely breathless white wolf. When the black mist took control of the white wolf's body, a powerful aura began to emanate. The white wolf now appeared majestic, with a layer of black mist swirling around its pristine white fur. Why does this white wolf seem like it's coming to life? Mu Feng noticed something was off. He realized that while Xiao Yan was conversing with the black mist floating in midair, the mist was subtly moving towards the white wolf. Although the black mist wasn't powerful enough to pose a significant threat to the three of them, Mu Feng remained cautious and kept a vigilant eye on the white wolf. Noticing the white wolf's subtle movements, Mu Feng chuckled. "Come on, I've been exorcising demons for years, and this is the first time I've encountered a specter like you. This time, I'll let you unleash your full power so you can see what I'm capable of. Let's see if I can force you to reveal your true form." Mu Feng spread his hands apart and then drew them back together, instantly covering himself in a green dou qi that rippled outward like waves. Understanding that the three of them formed a small team, Mu Feng knew he couldn't let Xiao Yan fight alone. He stepped forward voluntarily. Xiao Yan, seeing this, was about to say something, but noticed the white wolf in front of him seemed to be contemplating something. With Xiao Yan's powerful spiritual senses, it wasn't hard for him to detect that although the white wolf had gained some intelligence, its eyes seemed off. Mu Feng's attack quickly made contact with the black mist enveloping the white wolf, filling the air with a bizarre squeak, squeak sound that was quite unsettling. On the wolf's massive head, which was covered in black mist, its beastly eyes slowly emitted a strange glow. The black mist and the green light were fiercely eroding each other, beginning a mid-air battle, instantly locking in a stalemate. At that moment, the white wolf, covered in black mist, suddenly came alive with intelligence. Its massive jaws opened wide, spanning several meters, revealing sharp teeth and an incredibly fierce demeanor. Two black wolf fangs protruded from the white wolf's mouth, contrasting sharply with its outer fur. These fangs darted back and forth, left and right, surrounded by a black aura and emanating a sky-piercing ghostly energy, extremely formidable. From mid-air, a deafening wolf howl rang out, a sound that seemed to tear through the sky and rip the earth apart, as the wolf, with its enormous mouth wide open, charged at Mu Feng. It looked like a dark cloud descending rapidly, appearing over Mu Feng's head in an instant, leaving him no room to dodge. Then, a strange scene unfolded. At the moment the black light appeared, the white wolf's enormous beastly eyes fixed intently on Yuru, Mu Feng, and Xiao Yan. The white wolf's earlier attack seemed to have been a mere bait. Mu Feng and Yuru were both captivated by the eerie black light, falling into a state of trance. It wasn't entirely their fault, given that neither possessed Xiao Yan's level of caution. Xiao Yan was continuously activating his spiritual energy to protect his soul sea, preventing him from falling for the white wolf's trick. An illusion? A voice of surprise echoed from within Xiao Yan's body. The voice was unmistakably that of his ancestral master, the Golden Dragon King. Illusions? Xiao Yan muttered to himself. The moment his gaze was locked by the white wolf's eyes, he felt a fleeting dizziness in his mind, which vanished almost instantly. Yes, I didn't expect this specter to know illusion techniques. What we call illusions are methods that attack a person's spiritual energy or soul. They use one's own formidable soul power or spiritual energy, combined with seemingly inconspicuous yet subtle movements, sounds, gestures, substances, or objects to plunge the target into a state of mental confusion, causing them to experience all sorts of hallucinations, the Golden Dragon King explained. Is there any danger in this? In theory, given that this specter is weak, there's no real danger. Besides, the level of its illusion technique is too low. Once you defeat the specter, the illusion will naturally collapse on its own. The Golden Dragon King replied to Xiao Yan. Seeing the two fallen into a stupor, Xiao Yan's gaze turned icy cold. Suddenly, a violent and terrifying flame aura erupted around him. Since both of them have fallen unconscious, Dealing with this white wolf is an opportunity for him to showcase his skills. The fiery red dragon hovering above his head trembled slightly and then, with a sudden burst of speed, charged toward the white wolf. Impossible! How could you? The white wolf, having gained intelligence after being infused with a dark aura, looked at Xiao Yan in shock. How did this young human not fall into its trap? At that moment, the entire cave shook slightly, and countless specks of dust floated down from the surroundings. The cave's hard stone walls, shaken by the fiery red dragon's impact, shattered into dust in an instant, slowly drifting down. The white wolf, its massive body enveloped in a black mist, moved, and in the next moment, its enormous head was about to press down on Xiao Yan. It attempted to swallow Xiao Yan whole, but just as the fiery red dragon that Xiao Yan had unleashed accelerated its spinning, a milky white light formed a beam that shot directly at the enormous black wolf head. Simultaneously, two black beams of light emerged from the enormous wolf head, clashing with the red beam of light. The black light was incredibly strong. In the blink of an eye, it dimmed the red glow of the fiery dragon above Xiao Yan's head, causing it to sink several feet. Xiao Yan's face was slightly cold at this moment. He gently touched the ring on his finger, and the ancient ruler of heavenly flames appeared in his hand. Then, Xiao Yan unleashed his fighting spirit to the fullest, releasing an overwhelming aura. Instantly, the fiery red dragon reappeared above his head, and the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand radiated intense heat, resisting the black light. Xiao Yan gripped the ancient ruler of heavenly flames with both hands and looked at the white wolf in front of him, his voice deep, flame-splitting sea-devouring ruler. Xiao Yan's hands moved in a slight crossing motion, and the fiery red fighting spirit around his body began to spin fiercely. In a blink of an eye, the ruler beam emitted by the ancient ruler of heavenly flames transformed into two azure dragons, continuously rotating and intertwining, trapping the enormous black wolf head and spinning rapidly. The azure dragons spun faster and faster, accompanied by the wolf head's furious howls of anger, spiraling endlessly in midair. At the same time, the fiery red dragon above Xiao Yan's head also flickered with a dazzling red glow, frantically scorching the black mist, gradually destroying its layers of protection and eroding its core. Under the rotation of the ruler beams transformed into azure dragons, the giant black wolf head gradually dimmed and shrank, revealing its true form bit by bit. The terrified and enraged voice from within the white wolf sounded particularly shrill at this moment. By now, the white wolf's fangs, devoid of energy, had been battered and were barely holding together by the ruler beams of the ancient ruler of heavenly flames, flashing back to their original form. Xiao Yan quietly watched the white wolf in front of him as the black mist on the wolf's body began to dissipate, clearly unable to withstand the scorching flames of Xiao Yan's heavenly flame. Gradually, the black mist controlling the white wolf began to reveal its true form. Meanwhile, in the third layer of the forest of EngSubs, Muller was grinning wickedly as he gazed into the distance, muttering venomously, "Xiao Yan, so what if you're the new king? If you dare to come to the third layer of the forest of EngSubs, we'll settle our old and new scores together." Beside Muller stood the phantom spring ghost spirit and the malevolent ghost spirit. Xiao Yan took a closer look and realized that the true form of the black mist in front of him was also a wolf. However, this wolf was different. It had a pair of particularly sharp and elongated fangs that were quite striking. The fangs were one red and one black, appearing almost as if they had been implanted rather than being naturally grown. At this moment, the wolf's shadow was filled with terror. Suddenly, it let out a furious howl towards the sky, and its body instantly transformed into a mass of black smoke. In a flash, the black smoke vanished, and a figure suddenly appeared, hands shaped like claws, lunging straight at Xiao Yan. It was a man who appeared to be around Xiao Yan's age, with a narrow face and a vicious expression. Xiao Yan swiftly rolled to the side, casually deflecting the werewolf's attack. He noticed a strong black light atop the werewolf's head, but under Xiao Yan's perception, this black light was filled with an unmistakable aura of malevolence. Xiao Yan sneered, "I didn't expect you to have cultivated a human form. You've been hiding your true strength all along. How insidious." As he finished speaking, the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand flashed and shot towards the wolf shadow. Maintaining his human form, the werewolf roared, "Human, I underestimated you before. I didn't expect the flames on you to be so powerful. But now that you've seen my true form, let's fight to the end." The wolf's ferocious nature was fully displayed. With a flash of light in the werewolf's hands, two wolf fang-shaped weapons, one red and one black, each a foot long, suddenly appeared. The werewolf moved with incredible speed, and as he did, countless phantoms formed around him, encircling Xiao Yan. The red and black shadows, moving so quickly, formed continuous rings of light, trapping Xiao Yan inside. Xiao Yan's expression remained calm, his feet moving subtly. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand blazed like a crimson flame, swinging 9 times in succession. With each swing, the ruler's beam grew stronger. After completing the 9 swings, an immensely powerful beam, filled with a destructive force, slashed out with the fury of splitting mountains, sweeping horizontally toward the werewolf. A loud explosion echoed, shaking the entire cave. The force of Xiao Yan's strike showcased the full might of his flame mantra. With one swing, he shattered the werewolf's offensive. Using his formidable soul perception, Xiao Yan easily tracked the werewolf's movements and appeared directly in front of it, not waiting for the werewolf to make its next move. A cold smile in his eyes, Xiao Yan's right hand swung down with the speed of lightning. This strike, imbued with Xiao Yan's milky white flame power, appeared above the werewolf's head instantly, leaving it no room to escape. The werewolf was actually formed from pure ghostly energy. Given that this was a wolf's lair, it had taken on a wolf-like form. Moreover, the werewolf was condensed from extremely dense ghostly energy, eerie and sinister, whereas Xiao Yan's heavenly flame was incredibly pure and fiercely powerful, making it the werewolf's natural nemesis. Sensing danger, the werewolf's body suddenly dropped and began spinning rapidly in front of Xiao Yan. As the werewolf spun, a pitch-black beam of light burst out, meeting Xiao Yan's powerful strike head-on. The two powerful forces collided instantly, triggering a massive explosion that seemed to shake the heavens and earth. The surrounding stone walls shattered instantly, and the entire cave quaked violently. Fortunately, Xiao Yan controlled the force, preventing the cave from collapsing. The milky white flames surrounding Xiao Yan's body incinerated all the flying debris to nothingness. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan's spiritual power continuously monitored the werewolf's movements, not giving it the slightest chance to escape. However, Xiao Yan noticed that the werewolf's strength was at most equivalent to the peak of a human 4-star DoD, yet he still couldn't defeat it. It seemed that whenever his attacks became too powerful, a sinister ghostly aura would emanate from the werewolf, almost as if this aura neutralized his strikes. For this attack, though, Xiao Yan had utilized his soul power to target the werewolf. At the moment of the explosion, he distinctly felt that the werewolf's aura weakened significantly, indicating it had been severely injured. But the werewolf was incredibly resilient. Even such a powerful strike hadn't taken its life, prompting Xiao Yan to smirk. This creature was indeed no ordinary foe. The black glow surrounding the werewolf dimmed instantly, and its body sustained varying degrees of injury, leaving it incapable of further combat. The werewolf clearly hadn't anticipated that this human youngster would be so vigilant, capable of discerning the ghostly energy within it. This ghostly energy had mutated after absorbing the blood of strong fighters from the mystic 3 heavens, allowing it to neutralize many powerful attacks. However, the werewolf's intelligence was evidently lower than a human's, and it had underestimated Xiao Yan's strength. At this moment, the werewolf chanted a few incantations, and a small doorway suddenly appeared in the previously impassable space in front of it. The werewolf transformed into a wisp of black smoke and darted through the door at full speed, fleeing deeper into the cave and disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. It was fully aware that it could not defeat this human, and its best option now was to escape. Seeing this, Xiao Yan suddenly understood. No wonder he had sensed something strange earlier. He had been deceived by an illusion. Then, He set up a barrier over Yuru and Mu Feng's bodies and gave chase after the fleeing werewolf. Xiao Yan turned in an instant, a flash of milky white light appearing, and he vanished like a shooting star. Within the cave, Xiao Yan was swiftly pursuing the werewolf. The werewolf carried a mark left by Xiao Yan, making it impossible for it to escape. Ahead, the werewolf had noticed Xiao Yan following closely behind and immediately concealed its aura. Xiao Yan's expression shifted slightly as he muttered to himself, "A cunning werewolf indeed, to even know how to hide its aura. Impressive. But it's a pity. You've already been branded with my soul imprint, so all this is in vain." With that, a vast surge of soul power emerged from Xiao Yan's mind, flooding the cave in all directions. He quickly detected the werewolf's aura and accelerated his pursuit. As he tracked the werewolf, Xiao Yan realized the cave was unexpectedly deep, with countless forks in the path, making it impossible to discern which route he had originally taken. It was like an underground labyrinth, with a network of tunnels crisscrossing, making it exceedingly difficult to find a way out. Given the complexity of the underground passages, flying recklessly was extremely dangerous. Xiao Yan knew that catching the werewolf in such conditions would be very challenging. He understood this deeply, but was unwilling to give up easily. There seemed to be something alluring deeper within the cave that he could sense. After a long chase, Xiao Yan lost track of how far he had gone. He halted, sensing the feedback from the soul imprint on the werewolf. It had stopped moving in a particular location. With a swift movement, Xiao Yan sped towards that spot. After a short while, Xiao Yan found himself before the werewolf. Seeing the werewolf lying on the ground, barely alive, Xiao Yan calmly said, "I told you, you can't escape." After speaking, he glanced around and was surprised to see an impressive, grand coffin right before him. What a powerful aura! What's inside this thing? Xiao Yan surveyed the area, realizing he was in the deepest part of the cave. The spacious cavern had numerous steps rising gently from all directions, leading to a coffin that lay flat in the center atop the steps. At this moment, Xiao Yan stood at the edge of the secret chamber. Just as he was about to advance and investigate the coffin's secrets, he noticed some movement from the nearby werewolf. The werewolf had reverted to its original wolf form, lying flat on the ground, its dark green eyes glaring viciously at Xiao Yan. In a weak voice, the werewolf growled, "How can your soul power be so strong? Judging by your strength, you're only around a 3-star DoD, so it's impossible for you to possess such powerful abilities. This can't be." Xiao Yan smiled coldly. "There's no need for you to know that anymore. Everything between us ends here, with your death. The fact that you've managed to cultivate a human form indicates you have considerable strength. Perhaps if you tell me what this coffin is, I might consider sparing your life." "Humph, dream on. Humans are all untrustworthy." The werewolf spat back, clearly furious. Xiao Yan's soul imprint had caused it considerable harm. After all, the werewolf's physical form had been destroyed by Xiao Yan, and his soul power was particularly effective against such spiritual entities. Xiao Yan stood still, seeing that the werewolf was unwilling to cooperate. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand was slowly enveloped in heavenly flames, the ruler emitting a dazzling crimson glow, as if it could devour everything. The werewolf on the ground shook its head weakly, its eyes filled with despair, and a mournful howl escaped its wolfish mouth. The heavenly flames on the ancient ruler of heavenly flames began to spin automatically, slowly descending. A scorching blaze enveloped the werewolf, gradually refining and consuming it. A faint smile appeared in Xiao Yan's eyes as a milky white glow erupted around his body, illuminating the area within a Tinjiang radius. Even the dark stone walls glimmered faintly with the milky white flame's light. As the milky white flames around Xiao Yan flared brightly, the milky white energy surrounding the werewolf's head also intensified. The flame shield transformed into a beam of light, amplifying its power by dozens of times. Within the beam of light, the werewolf's body struggled continuously. Its weakened soul shifted between human and wolf forms, while its mouth emitted an unending, mournful howl. Gradually, the werewolf's body shrank smaller and smaller, on the verge of being completely refined into nothingness. Damn human, even if I die, I'll drag you to hell with me, the werewolf snarled menacingly. Suddenly, a red and a dark gleam erupted from the werewolf's eerie eyes, appearing extraordinarily sinister. In an instant, the werewolf's body began to fade, abruptly breaking through Xiao Yan's flame barrier and disappearing into thin air. The next moment, two beams of light, one red and one black, suddenly appeared in midair, radiating a dazzling brilliance as they pierced through Xiao Yan's flame barrier and fled into the void. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly, and he muttered to himself, "I didn't expect that the red and black fangs were not merely weapons. They concealed two distinct soul powers within. No wonder I initially sensed a trinity, so that's how it is. Alright, let's see how far you can run today." With that, Xiao Yan gripped the ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his left hand and made a slight motion with his right, instantly blocking all escape routes for the black light in midair and capturing a wisp of black ghostly energy in his palm. Looking at the faint black gas in his hand, Xiao Yan smiled and said, "Werewolf, it's clear you're clever, but unfortunately for you, you met me. I won't be so easily fooled. Now, it's time to end this." As he finished speaking, a milky white light emerged in his palm, enveloping the black gas. The werewolf's soul began to disintegrate at a visible speed. However, Xiao Yan didn't notice that the red and black fangs were flying toward the coffin. The werewolf's final, trembling voice echoed, "Even in death, you won't escape this place. You'll die alongside this coffin, in eternal darkness." Ha ha ha. The werewolf's words were cut short as it was engulfed by Xiao Yan's milky white flames. Then, a faint thread of energy flowed from Xiao Yan's palm into his body. As the ghostly energy was refined and absorbed by my heavenly flame, it actually strengthened my spiritual power. As the faint thread of energy flowed into Xiao Yan's body, he immediately sensed a slight expansion in his Naiwen Palace, where his natal inscription, Divine Motion, was located. Although this expansion was minimal, it did not escape Xiao Yan's keen perception. He was delighted by this development. Despite having established the Naiwen Palace, his spiritual power had been too weak, limiting his ability to fully utilize his prowess as a battle array master. But now, with the newfound benefits of the ghostly energy, Xiao Yan couldn't help but smile. This ghostly energy really is something useful. Xiao Yan licked his lips. Based on his assessment, his spiritual power had increased once more. With this boost, he now possessed enough strength to contend with a 4-star Do D. Haha, it seems you've turned misfortune into a blessing. The figure of the Golden Dragon King appeared within the space. Master Ancestor, hee, Xiao Yan chuckled, glancing at his master, the Golden Dragon King. I was initially worried that the dense ghostly energy might affect you, given that it can corrode one's mind. But it seems my worries were unnecessary. You have the heavenly flame to protect you, and your flame is quite unique. It can refine and absorb ghostly energy to enhance your spiritual power. This is something I've never heard of, the Golden Dragon King said slowly. Hearing this, Xiao Yan shook his head helplessly. Without a proper method to cultivate his spiritual power, he had no choice but to rely on these unconventional means. But don't celebrate too soon. This space is completely sealed. It seems we won't be leaving anytime soon, the Golden Dragon King remarked, glancing around. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan unleashed a massive surge of soul power, flooding out in all directions. The result of Xiao Yan's probe was clear. The secret chamber he was currently in was a one-way entrance, with only one passage leading in, the small door he had just entered through. But ever since Xiao Yan stepped into this chamber, that door had closed again. With his current strength, he couldn't force it open. Finding no way out, Xiao Yan began to walk step by step deeper into the chamber. The secret chamber was littered with human bones and cobwebs, but surprisingly, there wasn't a single plant in sight. The chamber was quite spacious, but the most conspicuous feature was the coffin resting on the steps at the center of the room. Not good. Xiao Yan's eyes widened as he spotted the two fangs, originally taken from the werewolf and refined by him, moving toward the coffin. Those two fangs weren't originally the werewolf's. They contained two souls. According to Xiao Yan's speculation, those two fangs were likely the keys to opening the coffin. and that werewolf was likely the coffin's guardian. Xiao Yan's mouth twitched slightly. Then, with a flash of light around his body, he executed the 3000 thunder movement to its fullest, disappearing instantly. Although he didn't know what was inside the coffin, from the fear the werewolf had shown earlier, Xiao Yan could vaguely guess that whatever was inside was no simple matter. Therefore, he absolutely could not allow the werewolf's two fangs to open the coffin on their own. Reappearing, Xiao Yan was now in front of the black and white fangs. His soul power had been tightly locked onto the red and black fangs, allowing him to locate them so quickly. On the coffin, there were two slots that seemed to match the fangs perfectly. Just as the two fangs were about to reach the slots on the coffin, the milky white flame-infused Do Qi in Xiao Yan's hand flared up. A terrifying burst of energy immediately immobilized the two fangs. Xiao Yan, quick on his feet, swiftly grabbed them and stowed them away. As soon as the two fangs landed in his hands, a chilling aura emanated from them. However, Xiao Yan paid it no mind and quickly stored them behind him. That was close. Xiao Yan breathed a sigh of relief, grateful for the narrow escape. He then safely put away the fangs. Although there was still a lingering soul presence within them, it was too weak to pose any threat. Meanwhile, the Golden Dragon King seemed to ignore Xiao Yan's situation, his gaze fixed on the coffin in the chamber. It was as if something inside resonated with him. There seems to be a familiar presence. Outside the passage, as Xiao Yan had defeated the werewolf, Yu Ru and Mu Feng regained consciousness, though both felt a throbbing pain in their heads. Where's Xiao Yan? Yu Ru softly rubbed her forehead with her delicate hand and asked. We actually fell for the werewolf's trick. Unbelievable, Mu Feng muttered in frustration. Xiao Yan? He must have gone after the werewolf. Look, there's a small door here. It seems he went through this way, Mu Feng said, pointing to a nearby path. Let's go find him, Yu Ru suggested softly. Let's move. Mu Feng, not one to hesitate, agreed and led the way, with Yu Ru following closely behind. Encountering such a situation just after entering the outer perimeter of the first layer of the forest of EngSubs, both realized the importance of staying together as a team. After securing the two fangs, Xiao Yan stood quietly outside the steps leading to the coffin, his eyes carefully scanning the interior of the chamber. This was a vast cave, over 10 zhang wide, filled with darkness and devoid of any light. It likely hadn't seen sunlight for thousands of years. Yet, even so, Xiao Yan could vaguely sense that something was hidden within the cave, persistently obstructing his soul power from probing deeper. This presence was peculiar, but Xiao Yan couldn't immediately discern its nature. After contemplating for a moment, Xiao Yan allowed the milky white flame energy to flow around him. The ancient ruler of heavenly flames in his hand shimmered with a milky white glow, its heavenly flames securely protecting him. Simultaneously, Xiao Yan conjured a light shield made of Do Qi around himself, cautiously shielding his body. Once everything was ready, Xiao Yan began to step up the stairs, slowly approaching the coffin. In the darkness, Xiao Yan resembled a bright beacon, gradually illuminating his surroundings. As he stepped onto the first stair, his expression became serious, and a hint of wariness flashed in his eyes. Upon setting foot on the steps, Xiao Yan immediately felt countless unseen, eerie, and sinister auras frantically eroding his Do Qi. Xiao Yan was startled. These invisible auras weren't particularly strong, but what shocked him was their sheer number, likely numbering in the tens of thousands. Even though his Do Qi and heavenly flames were protecting him, the relentless assault of these auras was subtly weakening them, something Xiao Yan hadn't anticipated. As Xiao Yan moved closer to the center of the chamber, the number of these tiny, unidentified auras around him exceeded 500,000. Beads of sweat began to form on his forehead. The tiny, invisible auras around him continuously corroded Xiao Yan's Do Qi. The once bright, milky white Do Qi was gradually dimming, and the surroundings grew darker and more mysterious. Xiao Yan's expression remained solemn as he extended his spiritual energy through his eyes. With a low shout, his entire body was enveloped in flames, resembling a god of fire. The appearance of the heavenly flames instantly illuminated the entire chamber. As his spiritual energy spread out, Xiao Yan was surprised to find that not only could ghostly energy enhance spiritual power, but conversely, spiritual power was also the nemesis of ghostly energy. This realization allowed Xiao Yan to finally see the previously invisible auras. However, upon seeing them, his heart sank with alarm. It turned out that these tiny auras were actually streams of black light, not some form of malevolent spirits. However, these streams of light carried a sinister energy, which had led Xiao Yan to mistake them for ghostly entities. But why were these streams of light automatically attacking Xiao Yan upon his entry? The answer was clear. These weak auras were obviously there to protect the central coffin. Xiao Yan extended his spiritual power, and his eyes lit up with a different gleam as he focused on the coffin at the center of the cave. Surrounding the coffin was a black pillar of light, several feet in diameter, incredibly dark and difficult to detect without careful examination. Xiao Yan attempted to use his spiritual power to probe the mysteries there, attaching his energy to his eyesight. However, the moment his spiritual power approached, it was diverted by the ghostly aura surrounding the black pillar of light, preventing him from discerning anything. Xiao Yan's expression grew serious. The milky white light around him flashed, and his vast soul power surged towards the pillar of light, brightening the surroundings once more. As he closely observed the black pillar of light, Xiao Yan realized that even with his Imperial Realm mortal-grade soul power, he couldn't see through it to discern what was hidden within. This piqued Xiao Yan's curiosity. The harder it was to understand something, the more interested he became in uncovering its secrets. Xiao Yan slowly circled around the black pillar of light, his eyes flickering with contemplation as he pondered how to break through the energy shield and explore the hidden secrets within. He noticed his master ancestor, the Golden Dragon King, hovering above the coffin, staring intently at some mysterious inscriptions on its surface. Xiao Yan couldn't make out the inscriptions, so he kept his attention on the black pillar of light instead. The aura within the black pillar was eerie and sinister. Even after trying every possible means, Xiao Yan couldn't probe it. Left with no other option, he focused on his master ancestor, hoping he might discover something. After all, his master ancestor, the Golden Dragon King, was well-versed in many things. Judging by his contemplative look, it was evident he recognized the inscriptions on the coffin. Take out those two fangs and insert them into the slots. There seems to be something unusual about this coffin, the Golden Dragon King instructed. Hearing this, Xiao Yan carefully retrieved the two fangs and slowly inserted them into the slots on the coffin. With a click, the two fangs fit perfectly into the slots. Strangely, the coffin did not open. Instead, a powerful dragon roar emanated from within the nearby black pillar of light. "Not good," the Golden Dragon King shouted. In an instant, both he and Xiao Yan were sucked into the black pillar of light, and the secret chamber fell back into a deathly silence.